Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I'm starting to develop a habit of starting a video right before I'm done with my workout. I have one more set to do, but I just saw some stuff on the NBA that kind of made me say, why, bro? Why are you doing this? So it seems like they want to extend the NBA draft format to 2 days instead of just having both rounds on the first day. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that for a multitude of reasons. One, um, the second round isn't that fun to watch. So if they're going to try to make it an entire segment that they think people are going to watch as an isolated event, I think they're going to have very bad ratings. From a business standpoint, I doubt that's a good idea. Second reason is I like talking about my team after draft night. If there's still a whole nother round, then we got to wait an entire day to see the fullness of our team. Now that may help with the strategy of drafting, but it also could hurt the strategy of drafting. Um, I want you guys to think about this. This may not be a big deal or any deal at all, but it is something that's crossing my mind, so I figured I'd say it. If you're going to have draft night be 2 nights, you need to understand that a lot of the guys who have been drafted and a lot of guys who haven't been drafted may be going to the same parties. May mean nothing, may mean something, but it may be a situation where you could change the value of a player overnight based on a mistake that they make at the damn party, and the guy will not get drafted. Now, I'm not saying this could happen or won't happen. I'm just throwing ideas. I'm just throwing darts at the wall. I just don't know that that's a good idea in the grand scheme of things. From a what could go wrong perspective. Things have gone wrong, man. We know if things have gone wrong in the NBA. So that's probably not as big of a deal, but it is one that's crossing my mind. Another thing I'm thinking about is just the overall process, which could be a positive in this regard, of studying players further. A lot of times draft night requires you to figure all of this out right away. If you have a second night to study second round players, maybe it could help with the drafting process, strategy, and whatnot. And another thing I'm thinking about has nothing to do with the positive side of things. I don't think is a lot of times second round picks are often players that are not even coming over. So why would we sit there and watch a half of a draft that's going to be a bunch of European names that aren't going to even be seen this year? So it's just a lot of stuff comes to mind. It just makes me think. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what their thought process is in regards to making it a second night. Will they extend the draft to more than 2 rounds? That would be interesting, but I don't think they have the spots for that in this league. It used to be like that when I first watched the draft. I think it had like 3 or 4 rounds the very first year I watched it, but they quickly got rid of that. And I think it was the right idea. 2 rounds, 1 night is a good format, man. I know shaking things up is something the NBA is doing right now. They want the in-season tournament, play-in tournament, back to West versus East All-Star. It's a lot of stuff. But when it comes to the draft, I'm not sure if tweaking it is really the one that I would do. Everything else seems like they're doing is fine, man. I want to go back to the West East format in All-Star, so I'm with that. I'm happy they're doing that. And I didn't hate what they had. I didn't hate it. I just prefer West versus East in the grand scheme of things. It makes it a bit more structured to say, okay, I know what I got on my side. You know, when a guy is drafted like Wembanyama, we know we got him. He's a Western Conference All-Star. So it's like that makes me feel confident as a Western Conference fan that I'm going to have what it is that I know I have. If a player makes an All-Star team, he's on our side. You know, growing up, Vince Carter was definitely in the East. Those are things that just understood. And now when you mix it up, it did make for some pretty cool stuff when you see players from different conferences play with one another. But I also think, LeBron James drafted so well every year that he kind of left Giannis and KD. I think it was KD he went up against with lesser teams. So I think you know that's kind of cool. You take it out of the players' hands and kind of give it back to the West versus East format. It does make for regional competitiveness and all that stuff. So I'm cool with that. But as far as making the All-Star, the draft 2 nights, I'd rather they not do that for a multitude of reasons. None more than I just don't want to watch the second round like that. I'm not interested in watching the second round. Yeah, so that's what my thought is, man. That is what it is. Definitely gonna have to take a shower at 9 a.m. on Thursday. Between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. they're gonna turn off our faucets. Please keep your faucets off so the room doesn't flood. Thank you for letting me know, folks. I will definitely keep my faucets off. So yeah, man. That's pretty much my thought. You know, I think the NBA is proactive in making some changes that I think people will like. And if they do it the right way, maybe we'll learn to love the draft on 2 nights too. But I don't think that's a decision. I can see them changing that back when it doesn't work. People will definitely watch the first round, but the second round, you got to be a diehard fan to even want to watch the second round to begin with. So to make it 2 different events, probably not going to like the ratings on that. In fact, I know you're not going to like the ratings on that. So that's what I think of that. And as far as the in-season tournament, I kind of like the idea. I like the idea. It's not consecutive, so every game is a tournament game. I think that kind of makes it spread out a little bit. It's kind of cool. I don't like the floors very much, although my team's floor I actually think is my favorite floor of them all. But that's not the point. I think they should have mixed it up a little bit. Instead of having the same template for every floor, just give an alternate floor to every team that has something unique to it. And art is everybody sees art differently. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I don't want to sit here and say hire better artists, because as an artist, some of the stuff that I've created has been ugly. And I don't think myself to be the greatest artist, and I've made some fantastic art. You know what I'm saying? So as an actual artist, I would tell you that's not really a thing. Everybody has their own imprint. But what I will say is I'd like a whole different look for what I'm seeing. I think this is one of the worst years for basketball art, NBA basketball art, jerseys, floors, all across the board. It's just not a good year for that. To be honest with you, we just didn't do that great this year. I would like for them to take on a different approach. Same way of doing things, just a different approach. I love the alternate floors. I think every team should have at least 2 alternate floors. I really do. I think every team should have 2 alternate floors, independent of this in-season tournament floor thing. I think the variety is a solid thing. Maybe even inverted colors. That's for example, the Lakers have what? Purple. Is it a purple area for the key? Maybe like invert that to yellow every once in a while, and then have the borders be purple. I don't know, like stuff like that. I just think could be really cool. Sort of like the Brooklyn Nets. They have like 4 or 5 different alternate floors. I like the idea of not seeing the same thing over and over again, as far as the floor is concerned, and then have jerseys that match the floor. Maybe a Hollywood Knights floor for the Lakers with the black template. Maybe even the old school LA, where we see blue, sky blue with the LA as a white kind of like Mickey Mouse font type of thing. I like the idea of having a floor like that. So it's a lot of stuff that you can do that I don't think the NBA is really considering, and they're hiring artists that are not really capturing our eye for this era. So I'd love for them to go a different route. I really would. And just be mindful, man, that certain loud colors are really tough on certain people's eyes. Epilepsy is a real thing. I thought going gray with the Nets a couple years ago was a little risky. I didn't really love that. Got used to it, but it's one of those situations where I like the idea of doing different things, but I also like the idea of not having people have seizures watching basketball games, literally, seriously. And yeah, man, so that's what it is. I know we've tried everything. We've seen a lot of different colors and stuff, and they don't want to revisit certain things. But when you talk about the Toronto Raptors, I think most people would agree that when they had their purple with the Raptor in the middle of the floor scheme, that purple jersey that they got, I'm sure they would love to go back to that to some degree, or see some remnants of that at this point, or even the Scar Raptors with the Raptor print Scar. That was always a good template from which to try to build from in regards to the Toronto Raptors. So there's just certain things. It's just, what I mean? They want to get it right. I would love for the Knicks to go back to orange instead of the blue template. I know a lot of people like the blue probably, but I grew up on orange. New York Knicks, and that's what I want to see. So it's a lot of stuff that can be tried, man. And so as a staunch NBA fan, I just want to see things look a little better. So if we're going to make some changes with the art is what I would ask, but not getting away from what's traditional, just giving us alternate stuff in general. So yeah, man, go check out my Lakers Rockets pregame video. I was not very pleased with my team this morning. I am glad that we are getting Rui Hachimura back, and I'm really happy that Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore won't be out there for the Rockets because I know how talented they are, even though their team apparently doesn't seem to know. Since they keep putting people in front of them and sending people to the G League, they have no business being down there, Cam Whitmore. But nevertheless, it is what it is, man. There's a lot of basketball to be talked about. Wembanyama is as good as advertised. I remember asking people, are y'all sure he's not going to dominate out the gate? I told a bunch of y'all superstars I should have went to San Antonio. They had the money to get you. They had the trade to pieces to go get you, and none of y'all wanted to go there. Now look at this kid. I bet y'all wish he was there now. A bunch of y'all. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. I'm just not surprised. Dude, 7'5", has guard skills and can block shots about as good as anybody who's ever lived. With his length, with his timing and his motor is like some type of Mamba-like motor. So when you have all that going on, hell yeah, he's going to be one of the greatest players of all time. And hell no, he's not going to want to wait to win. So that was foreseeable, and I just wish people like Dame Lillard would have thought of that. People like James Harden would have thought of that before they decided they were going to go wherever the hell they went. So that's just my opinion, man. Trade season's going to be coming up in a month or so as certain players are going to be eligible to be traded after signing their contracts. I'm pretty sure we'll see some movement because there are some teams, LA, that's not happy with what they're seeing, and I'm pretty sure we're going to package some people to make some moves. I've already seen rumors about Alex Caruso returning to LA. I'm on board with that, but I'm not in love with his contract, as I said in an earlier video. So this is a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I'm not concerned about the rookies who are coming out struggling. Scoot Henderson's going to be fine. He's got the Portland to himself as far as the guard spot. He just has to come in and step into his confidence again, and I'm pretty sure he'll do that before the end of the season. I'm not worried about him. When he gets healthy, he'll be good. Same thing with Amen Thompson, but the only thing about Amen is I don't like the fact that he has to play behind so many people. If you look at what Asar's doing in Detroit, Amen would be doing the same thing if he was in Detroit. Why? Because they actually have a role for him. So the Rockets, I don't know, man. I would love for the Rockets to just move on from their young players that they're not going to use, man. You got some very talented pieces. Don't let them decrease in value on your team. Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, you could package them together, get yourself another star player to throw into that rotation of star players if you don't want to use those guys or develop them. Because at the end of the day, you don't have the roles, man. Same thing with OKC with half of their young players. You don't have the roles. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte, you don't have the roles. As long as y'all continue to run y'all vets out there on these $100 million contracts like you're doing, these guys are not going to develop properly. Oh, and I'm not surprised to see the Pacers play well. Since we're talking about basketball, I'm not surprised to see that. I told y'all they have a very deep team with a lot of good guards. If they move Buddy Hield, they're going to see exactly how good those guards are. And Marcus Sasser, not surprised to see him play well for the Detroit Pistons. They need to go ahead and move on from Jaden Ivey. He's not happy. What's his name? Killian Hayes is starting to play well. I know the fans hate him. Move him on and put Marcus Sasser in a position to have that star role. He'll be an all-star in about 3 years because that's how good he is. So certain things are not surprising to me. I saw some of this coming, man. And there's a lot of players that were drafted this year that are a lot better than the roles they're in. So I'm just hopeful that we can start to see a little more quicker shake-up rather than letting guys deplete on teams and never become what they're supposed to be. So that's my point of view, man. That's my little NBA video, man. Better colors. Draft night, I'm open-minded, but I don't really like the idea of making it 2 nights in a row. I don't like that at all, really. I don't really like that. But everything else, all the changes they make, it seem to be okay as far as I can tell. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.